Peter Parker will have to contend with some old friends and even older foes in the pages of Amazing Spider-Man issue number 14. Let's all hop on in together and find out what happens next, shall we? Oh, now this is fun. This issue actually opens up with that conversation we were seeing between the Scorpion and Arcade from the end of the last issue, only now the perspective is flipped and we're with Arcade. The Trap Master du jour is telling Gargan how he can't be paid because, well, Arcade didn't get paid. It's at that moment he ends up getting accosted by Kraven the Hunter. It would seem that Kraven has something very big and very dangerous planned, and he needs Arcade's help in constructing some death traps. Arcade also tries to upsell Kraven on some robot tigers, saying that they're more ethical and more cost-effective in the long run. Ooh, you salesman, you. Now from there we transition on over to the extended Parker family, who are having dinner with the Connors. Yes, that's right, as in Kurt Connor the Lizard, and as in his family. And his family, who were dead before being resurrected as perfect clones by the Jackal, and who would have died again if Dr. Kurt didn't inject them with a bunch of lizard DNA, essentially turning them into monsters like him. But, you know, Kurt is trying to turn over a new leaf right now. He's got his teaching gig right back, he's helping to mentor Peter, why he even wants him to get back into the lab with him, and so far everything's fine, all things considered. Except for maybe the doctor's son, Billy Connors. After all, he's at that puberty time, which is rough for any young boy. Now also try being a lizard who has to live in hiding.
What's the matter, Billy? Do you think there's something wrong with the way your family lives?
Speaking of life complications, and Aunt May is running into her own. She's down a husband recently, and her finances are going in the toilet, due in no small part to the fact that Jay put a lot of money into Parker Industries. Compound that with the fact that Aunt May just discovered she had cancer in the first issues of the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and yeah, it's been a rough little while for the nice old lady. But hey, Aunt May is tough, and she's not letting it get her down. In fact, she's bounced back with a brand new career, professional gambler. Yeah, it turns out Aunt May is actually great at poker. She picked it up from an old boyfriend. That's not a joke either. Go read Amazing Spider-Man number 336 and you'll see. Now, it's after this meeting with Jay's lawyer, Aunt May actually takes another level in badass by saving a homeless dude who was getting accosted by a bunch of young punks through the use of one of Peter's old holographic devices. And again, because Aunt May is just the sweetest, nicest, most genuine person in the world, she decides to treat this homeless guy to dinner. Turns out he wasn't always homeless. He actually says he used to be a journalist. Who coincidentally also just so happened to lose his memory. You know, this guy could be anyone, but if I had to put money on it, I would say Ned Leeds back again. Now, Aunt May and her new friend end up getting caught in the crossfire between the Rhino and his would-be captors, Taskmaster and Black Ant. If you'll recall, the Beavis and Butthead of the Marvel supervillain scene have been running around doing the bidding of their mysterious new master, trying to lock up as many animal-themed Spider-Man villains as they can, which is a lot. Like, seriously, name an animal and there's probably a Spider-Man villain who dresses up as one. Pete ends up making the save in this situation, and in a nice bit of continuity, even extends the olive branch to Rhino for a team-up, because again, if you've been reading the Miles Morales Spider-Man book, you'll know Rhino has more or less gone straight and isn't a bad guy anymore. Spider-Man and Rhino make for one hell of a tag team, and in the villain's desperations, Black Ant ends up pulling out a giant energy blaster, which misses Spider-Man completely, but does end up blowing up the restaurant that Aunt May was in. And as the comic winds down, her fate is left open-ended. So that was Amazing Spider-Man issue number 14, everybody, and honestly, it was an interestingly paced little issue. It didn't concentrate on any one thing, instead opting to do a series of small vignettes about characters who aren't actually Peter Parker. But you know what, I always appreciate it when writers slow things down, double down, and, you know, really get to work on expanding the whole supporting cast and what they're up to, especially with Spider-Man, who has some of the best supporting characters ever. This also looks to be prelude too for that big new Hunted storyline they're going to start, what with Kraven looking to lock up as many animal-themed supervillains as possible, probably for a big hunt. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one a 7.5 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's Cape Joel again, and I want to thank you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out some of these other videos available from my channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel, so you're always up to speed on what I'm doing next. And hey, if you're feeling in a supportive mood, why not check out my Patreon page. Patrons get exclusive access to videos and content before anyone else, and you can do so for as little as $1 a month. And, oh yeah, the jacket, was a gift actually. Someone bought it for me off my Amazon wish list, which I also have, and you can also find linked down in the description. Didn't think anyone would actually buy me a Slytherin jacket. put it mostly on there for a laugh. But hey, it's the 20th anniversary of Harry Potter, so I figured might as well wear it, show it off, and thank the person who bought it for me. So until we meet again, everyone, bye-bye.